everybody.
Man, it look different in the background.
Yeah, it does. Just wanted to just wish you a happy Sunday to start, and also to let you know about what this week's video will be about.
Yeah, today we're doing a little different, man. We got a few opinions other than our own that we'll be adding to the thing today. I think you call it a show, the post.
Yeah.
But we're really excited about it. Like before we get started, we'll go ahead and let you guys know it's going to be about love itself. Just the word love. And, as you guys have seen throughout the videos that we've done, our mantra is the verse, 1 Corinthians, 13th chapter, 4th verse. It's about love. It just simply says, love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy, and love does not parade itself, and is not puffed up. So our objective, whether it be through our relationship in our marriage and also our relationship with others, is to consistently show Christ's love. It's very hard to do at times, but again, that is our charge as His children, and we want to make sure we do that with the best of our ability.
Right.
So why don't we give them a brief sentence or two of how this thing that you're about to watch happened.
So, of course, this week's title is relationships. That could be platonic. It can be, significant other, partner, or, your wife or husband.
Right.
And that would be only 5 simple questions that are asked amongst our amazing friends that decided to join our video. And we're just the conversational piece this week. It's not the 4 topics that we typically do. And we're not doing that this week. So we're giving you guys something a little different because we're trying to expand on what we talk about and what we do. And we think you guys will enjoy it.
Yeah. So without further ado, here it is. And like I said, just let us know. And we'll see you guys next week.
Happy Sunday. Week 27 of 52 Weeks of Focus. We have some amazing friends with us this week.
Yeah, as we said in our intro, we kind of try to I'm starting that early, switch it up a little bit and make things more conversational, not with just us, because I'm sure y'all tired of looking at us talk to every week. So we decided to have friends and semi-family over these last week or so?
Almost a week,
4 days and a half. I'm not going to tell them when we at. I can let you do that, because I'm going to say it wrong.
I may say it wrong too.
Okay, I can let you too. Go ahead.
So we are in beautiful Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. First time being here for everyone.
Everybody,
so
cool.
It's an amazing place, and we recommend that you guys come and visit. This is great.
That's it. It's an amazing time we had. That's it. Hey guys, if you guys have a chance, please. Whatever she said, the Portrait of Vallarta, she put the thing on it. I can't do that. But while we're here today, why everybody is here today?
Yes.
As we said in our intro, we will be talking about relationships, and not the baby mama drama that you guys see on Trash TV, which I've talked about before. But we're actually going to see how these questions that we have for our friends are answered. But first, before we get to that, let's tell you who these people are.
Yes.
Instead of just you guys looking at them trying to figure it out. So we're going to start with Dolores.
So I am Dolores Bryant. I live in Northern Virginia. I'm a military officer. I am friends with Victoria. We've known each other. We go back to 2012 when we were both assigned to recruiting command, different states, but managed to keep in contact and form a really good friendship via social media.
Yes.
Happy to be here.
And Dolores is my friend too. All right, so Deshaun.
Hi, I'm Deshaun Jamal. I live in Northern Virginia, and I met Vicky and Phil through my sister Desiree. Desiree and Vicky were stationed together in Kansas.
Shout out to Desi out there in Poland. All right, Lauren, let us know.
Okay, Lauren Troop. I live in Northern Virginia, and I know Victoria and Philip from Dolores, who dates Abby, and I've been friends with Abby for 19 years.
Yes.
And we've known Lauren 3 days.
A great 3 days.
Taking a big risk here. We don't know. And of course, as she said, Abby here will be last.
Yeah, so my name is Abby Yeshigata. I'm also from Northern Virginia. And I know Phil Victoria by way of Dolores Bryant, my girlfriend of 3 years. And we all came here for vacation together, and that's how we came up.
Yes.
And I'm me, and that's her. All right.
Right.
So,
Not enough introduction
guys, this
for
is how
us.
it's going to work. We're just going to ask one question. All right? One question. We're going to ask you about a topic, and you're going to give an answer to that particular topic. No particular order. Please chime in where you see fit. And I'm now going to throw it to Victoria, like she usually does me. Without telling her, I'm going to do it for the first question.
Oh, see, you just
All right.
threw me out there, huh? Okay. So the first question is love a choice or a feeling?
So I believe that it's a choice.
Okay.
So, I mean, yes, there are feelings involved, and that's very important. But at the end of the day, you have to make a choice whether you want to commit to this person and be with this person, even if you don't like them that day.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I like even if you don't like it that day.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm pretty on par with that. I think initially it starts off as a feeling, the ooh, the guts, the hey,
Yes.
and then you have to make the decision once those go away. Do I still want to pursue something with this individuals, or not? So yeah.
But I don't know if it's always a choice. I think it starts off as a choice, but then if it's really genuine and it's authentic, especially when like you in the romantic sense, like that relationship doesn't work out, you don't necessarily like want to love this person. But the thing is, you just can't easily cut it on and off.
True.
So I think it starts off as a choice, and then I think it moves on more towards those feelings because, you know, at times when someone does you dirty or whatnot and a relationship doesn't work out, you don't necessarily choose to love that person. You just kind of can't help it because if it was real, you can't easily turn off love.
Yes, okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I kind of agree with Dolores' thought. Like, it's something that you kind of feel and then it develops and then you go through different phases of your relationship and it challenges you, and it's at critical points where you decide if you want to continue to like develop that or grow that to something long lasting.
Those are some great perspectives.
No, you ain't gonna get out of this. Go ahead. Is love a choice or a feeling?
Well, I'm an emotional person, so I would say a feeling
Okay.
and a choice.
Elaboration, like, come on.
I say a feeling because I think your heart knows before your mind and everything else knows that's your person. That's your love or love of your life. And a choice is actually growing in love or growing more in love with that person. You know, as you learn more, as more, you know, comes up or more is revealed, and that love deepens. So that's why I say both.
Well, I 100% believe it's a choice because love and commitment kind of go together. I don't think commitment, I think love can be there without commitment. Love itself is not about like the things that are happening or the benefits you're receiving from that particular person. It's the feeling that you have for them. So if you're committed to them and you love them wholeheartedly, nothing they do, even if you have a feeling of dislike or feeling of like you just hate what they are doing either to themselves or even to you, you still choose to love them out of the commitment you decided to have for them. I'll do this like I do every week. As for us, I hate doing certain things in our relationship or in our marriage. but I choose to do it because I'm committed to you, because I love you, and I don't have no choice. So, I just feel like it's a choice, because a feeling can just kind of, come and go. A feeling can be contingent on what you were receiving from that particular person. But once those benefits stop, that's actually when like the love is shown. Because a lot of people say they love you, but then like when it comes time to prove that, it's hard. It's really hard. That's why like marriage is hard. You have to love that person no matter what, no matter how much money they spend, no matter how much debt they have, no matter all these things that like you can't predict. Like you have to choose to love them every single day.
Okay.
Check mark for me.
Oh my goodness.
I'm practicing that one. So since I have one question, I'm going to do number 2. All right. So number 2, should you change for someone that you love before you guys start? I would say that change is not like inconvenience for yourself, but inconvenience for the other person. Would you change, or should you change for someone you love? No titles involved.
Yeah.
Love them. You love this person.
So yes, you need to adjust your behavior. If you want to be in a partnership or in a relationship, it's not about you only. You need to adjust yourself. Personalities are developed and they are sustained psychologically. Like that's how it is. I think by 18 years old, like this is what your personality is. Psychology shows that, it's proven. So you're not going to necessarily be able to change who you are for somebody, but you can change. I think the Lord says this a lot. Like you are in control of your actions and how you respond to things. So yes, you do need to adjust behavior if you know what the person needs from you and vice versa. But I also don't think that it should be abused, and you should sacrifice other things that you believe in to change certain things about you. Not a personality, but your certain behaviors or things you like to do to satisfy the other person.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
Just still show.
Anybody else?
I think she said it all. So I agree with you. You don't necessarily have to change who you are, but adjust to the person that you're with and just be considerate of their feelings and what they need in the relationship.
I know Lauren and I think we talked about this like this morning, I think in the sense of, in any type of relationships where it be romantic or platonic, like just being aware of like who you're dealing with. I think I have a strong personality at times, and I just know that certain people that I have relationships with may not respond well to like my delivery, and not that I have any ill will or malice, behind what I'm saying, but that's just they just don't receive it well. So I think being part of any type of relationship, I have to be considerate and willing to change based off of that other person on the receiving end. If I, profess that I love them, and whether it be romantic or platonic relationship.
Cool.
That's a great point.
Does anybody disagree? I'll go ahead, Evan.
Oh, I don't disagree. I mean, I agree with a lot of what the ladies have said. I think it's not so much changing who you are, but when you're in a relationship, it's about you two together, and not only about yourself, but the other person, because you're completely wasting your time if you're not, picking up on their habits and what their, preferences are, and then trying to make yourselves coexist, because it's about that. Because you want to coexist, and you don't necessarily need to change your personality or nothing like that, because then you're not in your comfort zone or you're not yourself. But it's more just about like adjusting to coexist.
Sure.
In my opinion.
You got something?
I most definitely think that you have to adjust, as Lauren said, and as everyone else said. I think within each relationship and each stage of the relationship, you have times where you find yourself adjusting more, or you may find yourself adjusting more than your significant other, or within a friendship, for instance, and that's okay. because everybody, you know, grows and matures differently in relationships. So I say that if you're not willing to change, you're never willing to grow to your fullest potential. So,
And life experiences are going to cause either your friendship relationships to adjust or your relationship to adjust.
Right.
And it's not changing who you are. It's just changing, like, hey, yeah, we did things for this way for 7 years, but then X happened, and now things are a little different.
right.
So let's adjust.
That reminds me of like what you were saying this morning about, this morning or yesterday, about how your relationships change and the fact that sometimes you outgrow that stage of the relationship. And that other person hasn't, you know, gotten to, I guess, that level. So in that sense, your relationship is going to change, and you need to adjust to kind of navigate the new relationship that you have with that person.
So I read that question like in a different way, and like based on what you guys were saying, I agree 100% what you're saying, but I read it as in like someone coming in with the expectation of the other person changing for them. So should you go into a situation or go into any type of relationship, whether it be platonic or romantic, should you go in with the understanding that, hey, look, I may have these flaws, but this person should accept me anyway? That's how I read that question. Should you change for someone you love? Like, I feel like, to Abby, what Abby was saying, I feel like there is a natural progression of change when there is a relationship, because you're more aware of them and all that stuff. But there's also a mutual agreement that, like, hey, look, I'm changing this behavior for you because I know this. But if that, like, essential communication between the two people aren't there and it's just one-sided, there's gonna be issues. Because you shouldn't just come in knowing that that person's gonna change. Like, let's say you talk real loud and your spouse can't, like, or your partner or your friend can't stand it. Like, should they just accept it because you guys are friends or in a relationship, or should there be some type of like meeting, not like a formal meeting, but like an understanding on both ends before a change is even brought up? Is everybody?
I mean, I would hope that if something was bothering me, you know, the person, in this case, Abby, that I'm in a relationship that, you know, he would want to, but at the end of the day, the only person that I can control is myself and how I respond.
Right.
So, but if he loves me, and I know that he does, and I do see, you know, an effort to change things. Am I asking for radical change? I think that's unrealistic. Or, you know, an expectation, you know, to expect radical change. Now, if I'm expecting radical change, then this might not be the relationship for me.
Gotcha.
You said coming into the relationship, though.
Right.
Do you mean we've been dating and now we're becoming a couple, or do you mean marriage? Because the things you're working on could be something from something previous. Before Dolores and I knew each other as friends. Hey, I'm working on these certain things.
Right.
But maybe my loud voice doesn't bother her, but it's bothered 10 other people. Right? But it could be something else that bothers her. So it's not like, hey, you have to accept me because I have a loud voice. It's, hey, I'm working on this because my loud voice is apparently annoying people. And Dolores is like, oh, it doesn't bother me. And I'm kind of like, oh, well, that's nice to hear. It doesn't mean I adjust it or I have to not change it because it bothers 90% of the other people. But okay, it doesn't. But she could come back later and tell me, oh, this bothers. This bothers me.
Right. So yeah, that communication piece is that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, without that, like, there has to be some type of conversation to be had about the particular thing that needs to be changed, or the request for that thing to be changed. Because if it's not, that's putting an unfair expectation on the person that you're asking to accept or change the behavior that you just
I'm not going to be bamboozled into I'm working on these things, so you need to accept this. No, I don't. I do not need to accept that.
Sounds crazy. Y'all know people out there that's like that. So, and there's a reason why I asked that particular question. Well, there's a reason why looked at it that way, because I myself have been in a situation like that, not with her, or it wasn't even a romantic relationship. It was a business relationship / friendship that I have definitely reconciled a long time ago. But I really feel like there are people out there that use that type of manipulation out there to cover up some things that they need to work on. No shade against anybody. That's not my style. All right. So
whatever.
number 3, please.
Oh.
Go ahead.
All right, so moving on to question 3. Can you love more than one romantic partner at the same time?
Ooh, I'm going first. Y'all not. We married. We're married. We're not doing the divorce thing and all that kind of stuff. We don't speak of it. But I genuinely believe it is possible to love more than one person at one time. I'm a big seasons guy, and I appreciate everything. I'm one of the very few people that I know, and she can't stand it. I actually have fairly good relationships with people in my past because, again, you were in my particular path for that particular reason. In every single relationship I've been in, whether it be business, platonic, whatever, I've learned something from it. And to, in my opinion, to act like that didn't happen would be a de-appreciation of that particular time, because if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have learned that. I recognize I'm in the minority when I think that, but some people, look at things differently. But for me, that is how I kind of try to look at it.
But so I think that I get what you're saying, but I think you gotta realize that the different types of love. So you might still have a type of love for folks from your past,
Right.
but you don't have the same romantic type of love that you have for your wife.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
So for me, when you say that question, my first thought was, can I have romantic love for 2 people
Maybe I didn't
at the same
one romantic
same
partner.
time?
You right.
Yeah, so
Nah,
that's
something
kind of
like
so that's kind of how I interpret it, and I just feel like at the end of the day, you guys are a Christian couple, and one man, one wife. That is kind of the blueprint. So I don't, now granted the world may say differently, otherwise, or whatnot, but
Sister wives.
Sister wives,
The latest on the trash TV menu.
it's interesting though.
Whatever. Yeah, sister wives.
So I feel that you can love more than one person at the same time. The degrees of love will definitely vary. Like you said, if it's romantic, might love one person more than the other, and then it goes back to, if you're in a relationship, it goes back to choice.
True.
You're choosing to commit to this one person and love them. So whatever feelings you have for someone else, you need to that needs to be put by the wayside. And then over time, once you start breaking, whatever emotional connections you have with them, those feelings will decrease and subside.
That's interesting. What if, so take our situation out of it, us being married, whatever. Is it possible to be in love with 2 different girls or 2 different guys that we're currently seeing, that you're not exclusive to, but you're dating and you're getting serious, and it come down to these last more than one persons? Is it possible?
what type of love are we talking about?
Oh, romantic love.
Yes. Do you guys watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette?
Yeah, I've known her for 3-4 days. 106. Oh my God. But that actually ran a good
That
point.
does work.
I think part of it can be lust too, getting that kind of confused. I know people who have told me that they have loved 2 people at once. I have not, so I can't relate to that, but I'm not going to call them a liar and be like, I'm in your body, I know how you're feeling, I'm there. I'm not going to do that. So that's why I say yes, I believe it can happen, just like people say love at first sight. Does that happen? hadn't happened at me, and I'm in a long-term relationship, but it hasn't happened to me.
Love at first
I mentally am not sure I could ever get there for that for myself, but I believe it can happen because why do people talk about it and experience it and then share that?
Mhm.
That's why I think that yes, you can be in love with two people at once. Yes.
Good answer.
What do you guys think?
Oh, so I don't think you can love two people at the same time. I think in a romantic sense. I mean, just my thought on it is that you can only really love one person, and you may like confuse love with lust. Like Lauren said, I agree with what she said that some people may get that confused, but ultimately, when you have to make a life-changing decision or a very drastic decision for yourself or the two people that you're seeing, then you're ultimately going to care more for one person over the other for one or two particular reason, which is the tipping point or the deciding factor as to why you made that decision.
True.
So that's my thought.
Only on a kind of unrelated point, I don't see how people can have like multiple wives. Like I got one.
But it can get deeper because to your point about like you have to make that decision. Then is it a survival instinct? So now I'm naturally going to love the person that I'm going to get the most from for my benefits.
Right.
So anyway, you can go deeper with it. I'm just it's a survival. It becomes survival. It's like man, what's going to work out best for my benefits?
Yeah, I've seen that too.
But like it could happen.
Number 4. Oh, is everybody doing number?
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, cool. Number 4. Number 4.
That's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn?
We're saying it in Espanol.
Oh. Lauren, you foreshadowed this perfectly. How long does it take to fall in love?
Well, we just talked about what love at first sight. So.
How long?
Yeah.
Or if you don't want to say how long? What was the fastest it took you?
So
Either or.
I can't speak for myself because I think I'm a bit of a slow person. I think very, very deep about things. But I mean, I know people have been married in 6 months or married in 4 months, and I don't know that there's a time.
Okay.
Right? What was it? Was that the question? How long?
How long do you think it is?
So go ahead. So I was one of the people. I think that I used to just think that I was falling in love, and I was, and I would mistake love, love for lust. And I didn't really think it took my current relationship to really show me that it truly takes time for true love to evolve. And I remember when Abby and I were first dating in the first year, and he says, I think that people just really throw that word out, just too easily, too recklessly. And it took some time, but I agree, and it has really truly taken some time of truly getting to know one another for me to realize that folks that I thought that I loved, I don't really love, and it was really truly based off of like circumstances and that feeling. And I think for this is like the longest relationship that I've had. So of course those butterfly feelings have subsided, but at the end of the day, there's still a genuine love that is still there, absent of those butterfly feelings.
Is that a word on that one?
I agree with what Lauren said and what Lauren said. Like, there's no timeline. It's just something that organically develops, and it's all about how much time and effort you put into it. And for some people, it may come quicker than others, and others it may take quite a bit of time. So it's really a matter of how much time and energy people put into it to really get the benefit in that and get whatever kind of sense of what love is to them and to the other person to really close that gap.
I want to say one more thing about, like, I love the word dynamic in a relationship, and it's a little separate than love, but it's, okay, if you're married to the love of your life, right, and then that person, something tragically happens to them, maybe they die, whatever, are you never gonna love again, right? You may not love somebody else like you love that person, but that doesn't mean that if you do love somebody else that they're not going to bring something different to your life, like a different type of love. And your relationship might be very different.
Right.
But you love that about them, and that love is different. Maybe not stronger, maybe it's not comparison. I think a lot of people compare this love to this love. When it's not all comparison, you should look at each relationship to some extent differently. And like, okay, if I compare it to this, like, oh yeah, that person's never gonna live up to that person. Or maybe my heart was so broken, right? Oh, now I have found the love. And it's like, true, that could have happened. Or is it go back to, I'm now in love with this person after 6 months, and it's the lust? I don't know. I don't know. What's the definition of love? Because my interpretation of love could be very different than somebody else's. Or if you want to go biblical with it, right? Reference it, you know, and then you can kind of go off that definition.
When Lauren writes her book, you getting the percent.
So I actually just heard that Deshawn writes a little bit, so she would be my ghostwriter.
That was going on.
What you learn on vacation today?
So my thing with time in love, I feel like they're totally like irrelevant towards each other, because I feel like love is proven first to yourself about that particular person that you're saying you love, and then to the other person. For me, I was driving from Georgia to Kentucky every month. For how long? A very long time.
How long of a drive was that?
6 hours and 37 minutes.
Without a break.
Without a break, I would go through the night. Seriously. And before I knew it, I wasn't doing it with the intention of I'm going to do this because I love her. I'm doing it because I really want to see her. And then after 6-7 months, and like getting off of work and football games and driving to there, I was like, dang, I must really love this person. Like, what? Like she put something in my food or something. So then it became more of like, okay, so like, why are you doing this? And like, yeah, like you might love it. And that was after what, 2 months, 3 months? So and then we drove 2 hours for our first date. That was a love. That was crazy. But I just feel like once you prove to yourself, or once you realize that you love that particular person, the time just kind of goes out of the door, because it can literally take. Like, I don't believe in love at first sight, but I believe that you can commit to something before you know it, based off of who that particular person is. So the whole time period thing, but we was on dating a year, and we was like, all right, let's do it. But first you threatened me a little bit.
I didn't threaten.
But that's another story. We're gonna go through that one.
What?
Question number 5.
So you can throw shade and then try to move on.
Right. Question number 5. Question number 5.
So the last question of the night. What's the craziest thing you have ever done for love?
Or for the one that you did.
For the one that you love.
So
yeah.
This gonna be good.
That's what I'm saying for like
this.
It's gonna be.
I'm talking about you.
Oh, what's
I'm waiting on you. Anybody want to throw it out there? I would have drove 6 hours and 37 minutes for 4 months straight. Once a month, sometimes 2. Then help somebody move from Kentucky to North Carolina. And then drive there 4 hours and 6. No, it was 5 hours and 14 minutes. Not complain about it. I ain't complained one time, did it? You know, I used to get up from like Monday morning, at like 2 o'clock in the morning and go to work. Shout out to Baldwin County High school system. They have a lot of school. Go ahead, Blair.
I mean, the craziest thing.
I want to know.
As far as the craziest thing I've done for love,
I'm
It probably not for me.
I think the craziest thing I've done for love is actually do a long distance relationship. After taking a break from dating for 4 years, I said that I was never going to do another long distance relationship, and we came along.
I mean,
Oh,
I did kind of mean like that, but like not all.
I mean, dang.
After 4 years, that's it. I'm trying to find some what's that called? Tea. I'm trying to find some
Tea. Oh no.
We're gonna give you a break. We'll come back. Anybody else?
No.
I think the craziest thing I ever did was to take a chance on love, having a failed marriage, and for me was to take a chance on love and come to DC for Abby. And I know there was a lot of pressure. He was like, that I don't think he really wanted. He wanted to say, well, you come up here because you want to come here, right? It's a good opportunity. He's like, I don't want you to be coming here for me.
Before you pack your stuff, we're doing this for you. Don't need that. But I feel you, man.
But I came here for you. I came to DC for you.
Have you ever told that before, brother?
Yeah, so we had that conversation very early on about she had to make a tough decision about a very critical decision on a career that she was in the Army. She had multiple opportunities, and she's done so well that she was just like nominally selected for certain assignments, and so she made a decision to come to DC and take that risk. So I thought that was very significant. And for me, I guess I can't really say, but like being in a relationship with the Lord is like I wanted things to work out, and like just we did long distance for a year while she was in Kansas and I was in DC or Virginia, and so I guess the long distance was something that I was willing to go through with, and then just all the additional I guess assignments and work that she had to do, and just kind of making the transition a little bit easier for her to come back here. So I think for me that was what it was.
He let me stay rent free for about 3 months. That's a crazy feeling.
I'm about to say,
You worked it out.
Yeah, Abby gotta say that, but y'all can't remember. Yeah, that was light bill.
Right. My electric
You worked it out.
We try to break up and have it home. We try to break up and have it home.
I got you, brother. I got you.
So does anybody else have anything?
I don't have any.
Anything? Anybody else?
I was going to say, probably just staying in a relationship. I've been with my guy for like 14 years, and highs and lows. But part of it is when you're at some low points, especially since we were together when we were in college and then onward, you have a lot of changes in your life and transitions. And so you have a lot of people in your ear, and sometimes you can get caught up with hearing other people, which I also believe that God can talk to you through people, but it probably should be the right people that you're listening to for that. So if I were to listen to some of the noise, I may not be where I'm at today.
Yeah.
But then also part of it was you don't dismiss that noise. It's also acknowledging things need to change. So what are you guys going to do in your relationship to make some of those adjustments? So I'd say the craziest thing, not in a negative thing, but more man, I can't believe we've come this far. It's taken work.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
So I'd say probably, sticking with it. It's a good thing, right?
That's crazy that you say that too, though, because like the love thing is rough, man. Like
Full
it's
circle,
a lot of
back
stuff.
home.
Yes, a lot of stuff that you just like, ooh, like how did I get here?
Yeah.
Like how the heck did I get? And like, I don't know where kids get this person that I'm not married to.
Like Abby and I were having a candid conversation today because we've been friends for a long time, and again, I was just like, when you think about love, like you put up with with things of Dolores that you may not put up with, like even me as your friend. You'd be like, Lauren, I can't deal with this. With Dolores, it's like I'm accepting that. Like I love this woman, I'm accepting that. Just like for my boo, right? Like, hey,
Man,
I'm gonna accept this, but
spoke that thing.
not with somebody else. No, I can't. And guess what? If we are not together, like that's something I'm not interested in the next person. Total. So to bring it full circle, don't come at me with I'm working on this. No. All over the office.
That's crazy. That's good.
Yeah. So no.
So you thought of your answer yet?
No, I can't really think of.
Marry somebody a few years younger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We won't talk about the game.
What?
So apparently my black card is being revoked because I think differently than the majority. But I did get all the correct question. I got it all right. Everybody else is just wrong. Everybody else is just wrong.
So just
the moon?
right. So I would say that's the craziest thing I've done for love, because I always said that I would never date anyone younger than me, because
And you wouldn't do long distance again, or long distance.
God was like,
he broke all of that up.
Never say what you want to do.
So, and when Phil came along, I was kind of in denial about it, because I was like, wait, he's everything that I prayed for, but he is like 5, 6 years younger than me. And I'm like, 6.
If she was nice again.
So petty. Whatever. Don't even go there. Whatever. Shut up. So when he came along and he actually started to pursue me, I was in denial, because I was like, he's young. He's not ready for this level of commitment. And he kept working at it and chipping away.
Don't make it seem like you were just like, nah, I'm good.
No.
Actually, our first conversation, you did say that. But once we started dating, it was a wrap.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I don't like that version, but alright.
Yeah, he got me, especially while I was deployed. He kept checking on me in Bible studies and all that good stuff.
So you right with the Lord, that's it. Checking you like that.
Whatever. So that's going to conclude our video for tonight. Does anybody else have anything else to say?
Anybody want to say to them?
Yeah. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about this. Yeah, hopefully we can have them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do kind of live in the.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we live on the Maryland side for now, but.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. We gotta get a grill when we get back. So.
Why you gonna put business out? I ain't got no grill at the house.
Hey.
You know, I have my George Foreman. As always, guys, I really appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you again for the comments and text messages. We're still getting them. Video stuff from Instagram. Thank you. Who else? What else?
That's it.
That's it. Shout out to Charles, man. Amazing Airbnb.
Yes. We do not want to leave. I know.
I gotta send Charles this video. Look, this is how your place looks.
Right.
Yeah, we put the chandelier in there just for you. You come in, it's not there. We didn't do it. So, but yeah, That's
That's it. And we'll see you guys next week for week 28.
cool.
Adios.
Yeah.